We got Bruce Woodburn, CrossCountry Mortgage, right here on the air. And I'm so glad you guys joined me this weekend. It's hotter than heck out there, but it's a good time to talk about what's going on in the real estate market. So, if you're listening to this show and maybe you're thinking, I don't need to refinance and I have no desire to buy a home right now, stay tuned because you may know somebody that could use my help. And I would like to earn your trust. Honestly, I'd like to earn your trust. So let's talk a little bit about that. I have been in the mortgage business for 35 years. I have pretty close to all 5-star ratings on all my reviews. Now, I don't have five because there's always somebody that's going to mess that up for you. Most of the time, if I get a bad review, it's because somebody didn't qualify and they took offense to that. But I pride myself on great service. We return phone calls. We meet in person. We look you in the eye. We don't sell any products that you shouldn't have. We don't sell products to people to make a commission. My loan officers have set pay. They do not get bonuses based on the type of products that they sell. A lot of banks, and they're pushing certain products to you. Your bank, I guarantee you, will push a product that the average person would not want or get. And they act like it's the whole greatest thing that ever happened. It's not. I will promise you that if you give me an opportunity to help you or help your clients or help your friends, family, your kids, your grandkids, I won't let them down. I will tell you, I will give them the same advice and I'll treat them just like I would my own kids. And a lot of you are young adults that need some help. You Gen Zers really don't have any kind of direction when it comes to savings, and you've found it a little bit harder to be able to save in this market. Well, you can pull from your 401k. You can borrow from mom and dad. They can give you a gift. You can't actually borrow. I can show you how to put all that together. But the fact of the matter is waiting to buy a home is never the right thing to do. If a $400,000 home goes up only by 3% per year, which is an average, we see generally around 5 to 6% average. We can't count COVID when we were seeing 25% per year. But, let's just use a conservative estimate of 3%. That's 1,000 a month. Now, you put that in perspective, folks. $400,000 at 3% appreciation is $1,000 per month. So I get a client, calls me up and says, Bruce, I'm only paying $1,500 a month in rent. But when I buy the house, it's going to be $2,500 a month. And that's just steep for me. Well, it's actually not, because if your house is going up by 3% and we use that number, your $2,500 payment in all reality is saving you $1,000. So you're really back to where you were at $1,500. Now, do you have to make the $2,500 payment? Of course you do. But every time you make that payment, that house went up in value and the balance went down. When you make a rent payment, the house may still go up in value, but it ain't your value. It's your landlord's. My name's Bruce Woodburn. I've been in the mortgage business for 35 plus years. I've closed tens of thousands of mortgage transactions. I'm right here in your backyard in Tampa, Orlando, Daytona, Jacksonville, all over the state of Florida. You can call or text me at 407 706 3313. Again, that's 407 706 3313. Or Tampa, 813-213-4009. Write that number down for me, 813-213-4009. I like to take applications in person. I like to develop that relationship with you because I find I can guide you in a better direction and I can give you better advice. I can promise you your bank teller that's doing mortgages is not the right person to go to. I will compare my programs to theirs. I will compare my rates to theirs. I'll shop you online in front of you, showing what the competitors are showing for rates and where I am. And look, nobody's got rates that are significantly lower than anybody else's because we're all getting our money from the same place. They're all mortgage-backed securities. That's all they are. They're bonds. That's how mortgages are based. So you can get a little bit better in rate when you come to me. You'll get a ton better in service, and you'll get an amazing amount of information that will help you make a better decision. Now, here's something else I do for my clients. If you're buying a home and I have you fully approved for your financing, meaning you've given me your pay stubs, your W-2s, your tax returns, you've given me what I need, and I've approved you. When you go out to make an offer on a house, I will physically call the listing agent that represents the seller, and I will guarantee that I will close your loan on time on the scheduled closing date, or I will pay the seller up to $500 per day for every day that we miss the closing. Now, do you think I'm going to miss that closing and pay $500 a day? No. Will I make that promise if I don't have all your documents? No, I won't. I won't even make the phone call. And I get calls for that. I get calls where you guys have called and I've pulled your credit, but you've never given me a pay stub. I've never seen a bank statement. I've never seen a W-2. And then you call me and you go, Bruce, I found this great property. I need to make an offer today. It's Friday at 7:30 at night, and I need to make an offer. I'm going to lose this house. But you haven't given me any docs. So how can I put my name on an approval letter and call and put my reputation on the line for you when you haven't given me the documents that I need to be able to sign that pre-approval letter? So I can help you better if you follow my direction, and I will help you get a better deal. I'm going to tell you, one of my clients right now, I just got him 6% in closing costs. That paid all the closing costs and gave him a 2-year rate buy down in the fives. So come on, guys. I mean, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for rates to drop? I mean, honestly, ask yourself. Yeah, you probably go, yeah, I'm waiting for rates to drop. Let me tell you about the consequences for waiting for the rates to drop. Right now, buyers finally are in a buyer's market. Finally, you haven't seen a buyer's market in 15 years. Now we're in a buyer's market again. So if it's a buyer's market, buyers should be buying. But you know what? They're not. They're not buying. Only 3 in 10 people that want to buy are actually buying. Why? Fear. Fear. False evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. False evidence appearing real. It's not true. Now is a great time to buy. Yes, I know interest rates are a little higher. I get it. I see them every day too. But you can refinance later. You cannot lower the price of a house in the future. It won't happen. And when interest rates drop, like they likely will, buyers will no longer be in control. Sellers will be in control. That means you're not going to get them to pay any closing costs. It's not going to happen. They're not going to fix the roof. They're not going to fix the plumbing. And you're going to have 15 people wanting the same house at the same time. Now, if you ever experience that, you'll know that it is very discouraging. Call me now, 813-213-4009. Let's get the process started, folks. Let's get your application started. Soft credit pull, no hard credit pull to start off with. Let's look at what you got. Let's put a plan together. Let's go out and find a house. Let's make money. But you sitting on the sidelines as a renter, you are literally a tenant on the planet. You don't even own a piece of your own planet. Come on. Everybody should be able to buy a home. If you listen to me, you will. There's very few people out there that can't buy, very few, but I can help you. So I want you to call me in Orlando at 407-706-3313 or 813-213-4009, or go to my website and finish your application. Take you 10 minutes. Go to webringyouhome.com. By the way, I'm teaching a class on, I believe it is July the 10th. Let me just pull it up on my calendar in Orlando. That is right. So yes, we'll be teaching July the 10th in Winter Park, Florida, actually. Beautiful Winter Park, Florida, July 10th, 6:30. Register at webringyouhome.com. I'm going to cover how you buy a home in today's market. Now, we're going to touch a little bit on down payment assistance, but it's not a down payment assistance class. But I will cover it. I'll cover Hometown Heroes. I'll cover other down payment assistance programs. But mostly, this is about strategy, how you can become a homeowner. What's the best strategy for you? Do you have the ability to buy right now? Should you wait right now? So you're going to learn how to do all of that. I'm going to show you how to strategize, and I'm going to have you smarter than your real estate agent by the time I'm done with you. So register at webringyouhome.com, Winter Park, July 10th. It's a free seminar. Please don't register if you're not going to come. Don't fill up my seats. I only have like 15 seats in the entire room. It's a small room. You're going to get my attention. I'm not selling you on joining this seminar that's free, that I try to talk you into paying these fees for this system that I developed. I'll give you everything you need to know for free. Why? Because it's going to help you become a homeowner. Let's do it. 407-706-3313 or 813-213-4009 or webringyouhome.com. So I'm hearing a lot of people talk about, wow, I'd really like the Fed to drop the Fed rate. Can we get the Fed to drop the Fed rate? Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit more in the next segment. I want to cover some things that I think are super duper pooper scooper important. And that is, should the Fed drop the Fed rate? What do you think? Do we want them to drop the Fed rate, or should we leave it well enough alone? Let's talk a little bit about that. Matter of fact, I got just a second or two that we can knock this out. So here's my opinion. Do not drop the Fed rate. Trump wants them to do it. I know what Trump wants because it's not good for him if the economy is somewhat stymied. So he would like the Fed to drop the Fed rate. Why does the Fed drop Fed rates? They drop Fed rates so that they can stimulate the economy. That's what the Fed drop is for. Well, when they do that, that stimulates the stock market. And when the stock market's doing well, the bond market's not doing well. And guess what mortgages are tied to? The bond market. So if you look back on a history chart, and you can see this, I will demonstrate it to you. September 16th, half a point Fed cut. Rates were at 6.25, went to 7.5. They started to improve in late October. So what did the Fed do? Early November, dropped it a quarter point. What happened? Rates got worse. Then they started to get better on their own. So what they do? December, they dropped it another quarter of a point. What happened? They got worse. They have struggled to even recover from that time period, even today, from December. So are we a little better? Yes, but it's not because of the Fed rate. It's because of the bond market. And it's the bond market's gotten better because inflation is coming down. We're at 2.1%. We need under 2%. We're right there. As soon as that happens, rates should start to get better on their own. Now, are they going to hit fours? No. They're going to hit fives? Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it. Not anytime soon. But we could at least get into the low sixes. And I think the low sixes are going to stimulate the market pretty heavily. So we got just a minute. I want to talk about where interest rates are. 30-year fixed. They got a little better this week. We had some pretty good days in the market. We went from about 6.9 to about 6.75. Now, most of those are going to come with a few points or a point and a half. 15 years running in the high fives, low sixes right now. So a little bit of an improvement. Not a huge improvement, but a little bit of improvement without the Fed cutting the Fed rate. I think the market likes the fact that the tariffs are getting under control. We're working out some things with China. I don't think we're going to war with Iran. I think all this is going to work itself out. So I think the economy is getting better. I'm feeling it getting better. I just think that all of you first-time home buyers or move-up buyers need to get it together and get into market and buy a home, because you just keep waiting. You're just costing yourself more money. I'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Lone Ranger Show. Bruce Woodburn, CrossCountry Mortgage, 407-706-3313 or 813-213-4009. Or you can go online and complete your application at webringyouhome.com. When we get back, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Gen Zs and how you can become a homeowner. Don't go anywhere.